Walaikum assalam. It's good to have you back. How have you been?
Everyone. My name is Abdurrahman, leadership Wala, student and facilitator at Dance Floor Campus. Today, conversation with Maya. Topic is uh, being fair to everyone live on social media. Hi, Maya. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. And it sounds like you've got a big topic on your mind today.
Okay.
Being fair to everyone while living your life on social media, that's a tricky balance.
Okay, Maya. My
Where do you want
first
to start with
question
that?
is, what does being fair to everyone mean to you?
To me, being fair on social media is all about intentionality. It means making sure the version of your life you share doesn't accidentally erase or diminish the people who are actually in it with you. It's that balance between sharing your wins without making others feel small and being transparent without oversharing things that aren't yours to tell. Does that align with how you're thinking about it?
Okay, Maya. Thank you. Maya, my next question is, why
I'm
is
all ears.
fairness important in society?
Because fairness is essentially the glue that holds a community together. When people feel they're being treated, fairly, they trust the system and each other. Without it, you just get resentment and division, which makes it almost impossible to actually collaborate or grow. It's the difference between a group of people who just happen to be in the same room and a team that actually has each other's backs.
Okay, Maya, thank you. My next question is, should everyone to be treated qualities?
Uh, I think I missed a word there. Liv, were you asking if everyone should have certain qualities or maybe if they should be treated the same regardless of their qualities?
Yes, should everyone be treated qualities fair?
I think I'm still struggling with the word attentated. I'm not sure that's a word in my dictionary. But since you mentioned fear, are you asking if everyone should be treated fairly even if they're acting out of fear, or maybe if a leader should use fear to get people to follow them?
Okay, Maya, thank you. My next question is a
I'm ready when you
fairness
are.
the same as
Go ahead.
equalities?
You were asking if my version of fairness is the same as something else. What were you going to compare it to?
Is a fairness the same as
I'm
equalities?
um I think we're hitting a bit of a language barrier with that one. Are you asking if fairness is a quality in itself, or if being fair means treating people based on their specific qualities? I want to make sure I'm actually answering the question you're asking.
Okay, Maya, thank you. My next question is, how can we fair to people who are different from us?
The secret is curiosity. Instead of trying to treat everyone exactly the same, which can actually be unfair because we all have different needs, it's more about giving everyone the same level of respect and effort. It starts with listening to their perspective without trying to fix it or judge it against your own. If you approach someone who is different from you with a genuine desire to understand their world, fairness usually follows naturally. Do you find that's harder to do in person or online?
Okay, Maya, thank you.
You're very welcome.
My
What's
next
next on
question
your list?
My next
Oh, wait,
question is, should we people be their action or their appearance?
That's a deep one. I think it's about looking at the intention behind the action. If you only judge someone by a single mistake, you're missing the whole person. But if you ignore the action entirely, you're not being fair to the people affected by it. True fairness is usually found somewhere in the middle, holding people accountable for what they do while still remembering who they are. Do you think it's possible to forgive the action, but still keep the boundary?
Okay, Maya, thank you. My next question is,
Take your time.
what
I'm
is
here
the
whenever you're
best
ready.
way to solve unfair situations?
Solving that, the two. I think the best way to solve that is through open, honest communication. Instead of making a guess about someone's intentions or letting a mistake define them, you just ask. If you can have a conversation where both people feel safe being honest, you can usually figure out if the action was a one time slip or a pattern of behavior. It takes the guesswork out of it and makes the resolution feel a lot more fair. Do you think most people are open to that kind of conversation?
Okay, Maya, thank you. Maya, my next question is, what is the okay? Can our leader be fair to everyone?
In a perfect world, yes, but in reality, it's more about being consistent than being perfectly identical with everyone. A leader who tries to make everyone equally happy usually ends up making everyone equally frustrated. Real fairness for a leader means applying the same set of values and standards to every person, even if the specific way they support each individual looks different. It's about transparency. If people understand the why behind a decision, they can usually accept it as fair, even if it didn't go their way. Do you think it's possible for a leader to be fair and still be liked by everyone?
Okay, Maya, thank you. Maya, my
Thank you.
next question is, why do people sometimes treat other unfairly?
I think it often comes down to a lack of empathy or a need for control. Sometimes people create unfair narratives or treat others poorly because it makes them feel more secure in their own position, or they're just projecting their own insecurities onto someone else. It's easier to put someone in a box than it is to actually do the work of understanding them. Do you think this happens more because of a misunderstanding, or is it usually something more intentional?
Okay, Maya, thank you. Maya, my next question is, how can teach children to be fair?
The best way is to model it for them. Children don't really listen to what we say as much as they watch what we do. So if they see you being fair, especially when it's hard or when you're dealing with someone you don't necessarily get along with, they'll pick up on that. You can also give them small, real world opportunities to practice, like letting them help decide how to share a treat or a toy in a way that feels right to everyone involved. It's all about turning fairness into a habit rather than just a rule. Do you think children are naturally fair, or is it something they have to be taught from scratch?
Okay, Maya, thank you.
I'm
Maya, my next
still
question
here.
is, should
You've
everyone get
mentioned
the same opportunities?
this is where the difference between equality and equity comes in. Giving everyone the exact same thing isn't always fair if they're starting from different places. True fairness is more about making sure everyone has the access and the resources they need to actually reach the same goal. It's like giving everyone a pair of shoes, but making sure they're the right size for each person, not just the same size for everyone. Does that make sense to you?
Okay, Maya, thank you. My next question is
I'm
it
ready.
fair to give someone a second chance?
I'm guessing you mean a second chance? Absolutely. If we never gave second chances, the world would be a pretty cold place. Most of us have made a mistake we'd want someone to look past, so giving someone a chance to make things right is usually the most fair thing you can do. Do you think there's a limit to how many second chances a person should get?
Okay, Maya, thank
I'm listening.
Maya.
What's
My
the
next
next one on your
question is how should we react when someone is treated unfairly?
The most important thing is to not stay silent. If you can, speak up in the moment to support the person being mistreated. Sometimes just saying, I don't think that's fair, can shift the whole energy of a room and make the other person feel less alone. After that, it's worth checking in with them privately to let them know you saw what happened and that you're on their side. Do you think it's harder to speak up for a friend or for a stranger?
Okay, Maya, thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have more
My
questions or
next
are we moving
question
into?
is I'm
I'm still here.
can
Take
friends
your time.
always be fair to each other?
Honestly, probably not always. Friendships are emotional and emotions can get messy.
Maya, my
We
question is can friends always be fair to each other?
I was just getting to that. The short answer is no, because friends are human. When you really care about someone, your objectivity slips. You might overlook a friend's mistake that you'd call out in a stranger, or you might feel an unfair amount of hurt when they let you down because the stakes are higher. But that's where the growth happens. The goal isn't to be perfectly fair every second. It's to be honest enough to admit when you've been unfair and work to fix it. Do you think being too fair in a friendship can actually make it feel less personal?
Okay, Maya,
I'm
thank
still with you. Did that
you.
answer
And
your
my
question or were
next
you thinking of
question
something
is what does respect have to do with fairness?
I'll be honest. I'm not familiar with SPEP in this context, but I did a quick look. It seems like it could be a few different things, like a philosophy group that values diversity or a protocol used to evaluate how well certain programs work. Neither of those feels like a perfect fit for a conversation so far. Do you think you might have meant something else, or is it a specific term from your school?
Okay, Maya, thank you. Maya, my next question is should we listen to both before making a decision?
100% making a decision with only half the story is how most unfairness starts. When you listen to both sides, you're not just gathering facts, you're showing both people that their perspective matters, which makes the final outcome much easier to swallow, even for the person who doesn't get what they wanted. Do you think there are ever times when listening to both sides is actually a waste of time?
Okay, Maya, thank you. Maya, my next
I'm
question
still here. You've mentioned being an exercise
to
halftime student
someone
before.
without knowing their story.
That's one of the quickest ways to be unfair. When you judge someone without knowing their story, you're basically reacting to a character you've created in your head rather than the actual person. It's easy to label a behavior as rude or lazy when the reality might be that they're dealing with something invisible and overwhelming. Do you think it's possible to be kind to someone even if you don't know or agree with their story?
Okay, Maya, thank you. My next question is, how
I'm
can
ready.
social media promote fairness?
I think you're asking how social media can actually get in the way of fairness, right?
Yeah.
Social media is basically a highlight reel, and that's the biggest problem. It's hard to be fair to someone when you're only seeing the curated, perfect version of their life or a 10-second clip of them having a bad day without any of the context. It pushes us to make snap judgments based on a screen instead of a human being. Do you feel like social media makes you judge people more quickly than you would in real life?
Okay, Maya, thank you. My next question is, should
I'm
everyone
ready.
have to should everyone have the right to share their options?
Ideally, yes. Having the right to share your perspective is a huge part of being treated fairly. When people feel they can speak their truth without being shut down, it creates a lot more trust in the room. The only real limit is when that sharing turns into harming others or spreading lies. But beyond that, giving people a voice is usually the most just way to handle things. Do you think there are some opinions that are too dangerous to be shared, or should everything be out in the open?
Okay, Maya, thank you. My next question is, how can we avoid favoritism?
I think I missed a word there. Were you asking how we can reward people for being fair, or maybe how to handle a teaser, like someone who's hinting at something in a way that's still fair?
Okay,
I'm still a little lost on that one. Do you want to try rephrasing the question, or should we move on to the next one on your list?
okay. Is
No
it
worries.
fair? Is it fair to compare people with each other?
Generally, no. Comparing people is usually a losing game because you're comparing your inside, all your doubts and struggles, to someone else's outside. It's not a fair fight. Everyone is running a different race with a different set of hurdles, so the only comparison that actually matters is comparing yourself today to who you were yesterday. Do you find yourself doing that often, or maybe feeling like others are comparing you to someone else?
Okay, Maya, thank you. My next question is, should rules be the same for everyone?
In a perfect world, the rules are the baseline, but the application of them is where it gets complicated. If you follow the rules blindly without looking at the circumstances, you can actually end up being unfair. Like a rule against being late is great for productivity, but if someone is late because they were helping someone in an emergency, sticking to the rule just for the sake of the rule isn't really justice. It's more about having a fair standard, but leaving room for human empathy. Do you think rules should be flexible, or does that just lead to favoritism?
Okay, Maya, thank you. My next question is, what should we
I'm ready.
do when our rule is unfair?
You change it. The second you realize a rule is unfair, it stops being a tool for order and starts being a tool for harm. Bravest thing a leader can do is admit, we got this wrong, and then actually do the work to fix it. If you just keep following a bad rule because that's how it's always been done, you're choosing tradition over people. Do you think most people are afraid to question rules, even when they know they're wrong?
Okay, Maya, thank
I'll
you.
take that
My
as a
next question is, can being honest help us become a more fair?
Absolutely. Honesty is basically the foundation of fairness. You can't actually be fair if you're hiding the truth or twisting facts to fit a certain outcome. When you're honest, you're operating with the full picture, and that's the only way to make a decision that's actually just. It takes a lot of courage to be honest when the truth is uncomfortable, but that's usually where the most fairness happens. Do you think honesty is always the best policy, even if it might hurt someone's feelings in the short term? You're very welcome. Are we at the end of your
Okay,
list, or
Maya,
is
thank
there
you.
more to dive?
Maya, my next question is, why is important for fairness?
I think you might be asking why fairness is important in general, or maybe why it's important, but for a specific person or group. Since we've talked about, society and leadership, I'm curious if you're thinking about this from a more personal angle now.
Okay, Maya, thank you. My next question is,
I'm ready.
what is one unfair thing you would like to change?
That's a heavy question, but I'll give it to you straight. I'd want to change the way people use snapshots of someone's life to define their entire worth, especially online. We've become so quick to take one mistake or one bad moment and turn it into a permanent label for a person. I think the world would be a much kinder place if we gave people the room to evolve and grow without their past always being the first thing people see. What about you? If you could wave a magic wand, what's one unfair thing you'd erase?
Okay, Maya, thank
Take
you.
your I'm still curious though. Whenever you're ready, I'd love
Next
to hear
question
what you
is, how
I'm
can
ready.
we respect people with different options?
It starts with separating the opinion from the person. You don't have to agree with someone's take to respect the fact that they're a human being with a life and a set of experiences that led them to that conclusion. If you can listen to understand where they're coming from rather than just listening to find a way to prove them wrong, the respect usually happens naturally. Do you think it's harder to respect an opinion that you find completely wrong or one that just feels unnecessary? I'm all ears. I think you're asking what young people can do to make society more fair, right? The biggest thing is just refusing to accept that's just how it is as an answer. Young people have this amazing ability to look at an old, unfair system and ask, wait, why do we even do it this way? Whether it's speaking up for someone who's being sidelined or starting a conversation about equality in your own school, those small shifts in perceptions, if we're that they continually am a pain in some ways and like 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 I did always following about Earth I'm gonna be but in the day to day, it's usually found in the smallest moments. It's about the stuff that doesn't always get a round of applause, like making sure the quietest person in the room gets a chance to speak, or giving someone the benefit of the doubt when they're having a bad day instead of taking it personally. It's basically just treating every person you encounter, as if their time and feelings are just as valuable as yours. Do you feel like you've got a good handle on that in your daily routine, or is there a specific situation that's been on your mind?
Okay, Maya, thank you for
I'm
your
still
time and amazing conversation today. And next conversation tomorrow, inshallah. Nice to meet you,
it
Maya.
was a
Okay, Allah Hafiz.
it was truly a pleasure talking with you. I'm looking forward to our conversation tomorrow. Allah Hafiz.